Hello? Hey, Donna, can you hear me now? Thank you, Donna. That's why it's so important to be on time. Welcome to Tea Time. Giving everybody a second to get all chimed in. I am wearing my Halloween ears and my pumpkin shirt. This shirt is so cute. And we are going to get ready to jump right on in. I'm going to give it about one more minute, and we'll be ready to get started. Happy birthday to all of the October birthdays. I hope you enjoyed your day as October get in. And I hope that you're enjoying your holiday season for Halloween as well. Let's see. Have some things that I want to cover today. So first and foremost, when we're talking about the Halloween season, this is the time that a lot of us get to watch our scary movies, right? We get to watch our scary movies during this season. So one of the movies that I had asked everybody to watch, and if you watch, we're going to talk about that for a few seconds, and it's called The Burial. So if you had a chance to watch that movie, hey Sanaya, and hey Donald, if you had a chance to watch that movie, I do want to hear from you with what your feedback was from that movie. We're also going to talk about another movie, but most importantly, we're going to talk about some things that you all have planned for the holiday season. So again, I am not a big costume person, and I don't do the whole spooky down house and all of those things. But I do enjoy the family activities that's associated with Halloween. Just this Saturday, The Blackening. Okay. Oh, that movie was so awesome. Okay, sis. Did the apple picking. I did that for the first time. That was really fun. And since I have so many apples, aside from eating them, I made some fried apples today. I kind of baked them. They were really good. And I'm making an apple pie this evening. I already started prepping everything ready to go in the oven. And then on Friday, I'm going to do candy apples with the apples of my eye. So let's get back into the movies thing, okay? So we see The Blackening. That movie was so good. That movie was so good. I actually seen The Blackening at the what do you call it premiere. Yanni always going to see the free movies, and we got it. And that movie was so good. So we did do that. We did see that movie. And another movie I asked you all about was the movie called The Burial. Did anyone get to watch that? I see it trending all over Facebook now. I put it on my page telling everybody to watch it. It has so many meanings. So many different things that you want to just learn from, and just a way to look at things. That movie was truly awesome. So again, if you have not watched that, please watch that movie. You didn't see it yet? Yeah, you definitely have to check it out. Please watch Blackening. Try to get that on your list if you like to sit down and watch movies on Halloween night. Oh my God, that movie was so awesome. But we're going to talk about another movie that I want you all to watch that's a little deep, that I want to talk about, right? Before I get into that, on this coming Sunday, hey sis, the topic is Halloween. So we're talking about good Halloween movies. We're talking about great Halloween activities. And we just threw some movies out that we want each other to watch. And people are just dropping in the chat some of their favorite movies. And then we're going to move on to a meaningful movie that I'm going to talk about towards the end. Okay, so my favorite Halloween movie is the Michael Myers trilogy. I love so much, especially the theme song. Okay, the theme song, that's interesting. As I was stating, we will be doing Nala's and Yari's annual Halloween brunch on this Sunday. So I hope I didn't miss anyone, but we did get the invitations out for those persons who have smaller children so that we can eat brunch together in our Halloween costumes. And then we have an activity after that as we bring out Halloween towards its closure. One thing I did not know and I Googled today, and if anybody else know, please chime in and let me know. One other thing I learned today was that I always thought the holiday season started like Thanksgiving or the day before Thanksgiving. But reading today, I found that Thanksgiving season actually starts the day after Thanksgiving. And it goes into that Christmas season, right? I mean, I always thought that it started. Hey, sis, happy birthday again. I always thought that it started around Thanksgiving because that's initially when we get together as a family. I know a lot for African American. Hi, sister girl. I know for a lot of African American families, we start that season right around Thanksgiving. As we prepare for Thanksgiving, we say we're in the holiday season. But just for note purposes, I looked at it online, hey, and and it says that the holiday season actually starts the day after Thanksgiving. I had no idea of that. No idea of that. So let me jump into the next thing. I watched a movie today and it changed my topic. I watched a movie today called The Sound of the Police. And I watched it on free, I think it is, because I just be watching anything on anything. But I watched it and that's really a really good movie. So it led me to want to talk briefly about racism and being aware that racism is still alive, right? And I want us to understand that racism is even more important now than then, right? And we wonder why some of us are so depressed and suppressed. Like it goes back to deeper roots, right? So one thing that the movie talked about was racism amongst the police force, right? So when we hear a cop has done something to someone, we kind of rally, we kind of buy shirts, we kind of speak up on it. But one of the things that the man stated today is that we don't long live it, right? We stop saying I can't breathe. We calling out Breonna Taylor's name. And we sometimes just kind of move because it's a revolving life. And we must not forget those things. It started going back to the Rodney King incident. And before Rodney King, they said that that was the first video that was actually caught on camera. Someone had just purchased a camera and recorded that. And they said prior to that, it was no footage. So people talked about it and said, that we needed needed proof, and now we were able to find proof with the Rodney King, and those officers were still found not guilty, right? So I just want to make sure that we're being mindful of that. We're going to talk about a few things that you should do as a Black male or Black female with keeping yourself safe. The movie sure definitely talks a lot about slavery, right? And once slavery was ended, it will not actually ended, but once it appeared to have ended, they start patrolling us and the police, which a lot of KKKs came from and is still today. So definitely pay attention. They start patrolling where we went, where we lived. When we were fresh out of slavery, they would even say that if we walked in certain types of the streets, how you could be arrested, right? And they showed so many different examples of African Americans being such this vicious person to our white counterparts, right? And it's so important that we take awareness to this because some of us don't live in the most urban neighborhoods or a hood, right? But this can happen to us anywhere. We can be driving out of town. That's why we have to be very mindful of where we travel to and to ask a few questions about that area because, again, racism is still alive, right? And we need to pay attention to that, especially if you're raised Black men, and they want to move around and do things. It is very, very, very troubling to hear the stories that was talked about on this movie. They talked about Amir Locke. They talked about George Floyd, Rodney King, Freddie, Breonna Taylor, and it says that 95% of police calls in the United States don't even need guns, right? And if you're from an urban area, like I said, you're like, oh, whoa, they better not go someplace, but they're talking overall in the United States as a whole, that 95% of calls for the police does not even require a gun. So they're doing a lot of talk about police reform. So you see these types of things, make sure, yes, sundown, definitely be very aware. Make sure that when you see these petitions go past and when you go vote, that you sometimes prepare to vote. Because voting season, I don't know what's in the election for this April. I know it's not one of the biggest ones, but we need to be mindful to look over things and prepare before we go vote, right? Have you heard of the Sundown Town? It's all prevalent and active today. I don't know a lot about it, but if you can share some of it, I see Sharon and Aisha has some. If you can share some of that, because I had never heard of the sundown cities or the sundown town, but I can imagine that it's probably you want to be out of there before the sun is down, but don't know a lot about it. So if you all want to share, but I just wanted to make sure that we're mindful. It was a situation where I'm just going to say black and white. We're not being politically correct. We're just speaking the facts here. They were in a fight, and the white boy actually had the white boy on the ground, right? And the police ran up to the scene. They grabbed the black boy off the bottom, slammed him, placed him under arrest, and they set the white boy on the couch. They said, now again, I'm all for whoever the aggressor is and you want to stop it. But in this case, the black boy was on the ground and the white boy was over him pondering away. And the police arrived on the scene, set him down nicely, and then placed the black boy under arrest. It was so many different scenarios of what they call Kerns, not my sister Kern, but those other Kerns, right? How they would just stop on blocks and say people it shouldn't be there, and they call the police and they talk about how that how the police department doesn't really protect African Americans, black people. They are just another source for the white people to control us. We hear these things, we really have to take note of those things and stop looking away, because sometimes we will look away from these types of things unless it affects us directly and our family, friends, or community. But there's a lot of aggressiveness that should not be taking place. If you're back in that town, you better leave before the sun sets, right? So that means that it's still there. And sometimes you won't even know, and sometimes we joke, and it brings our awareness back to why we need to take care of one another. It's not just us killing one another, but we're a whole different war with the KKK, who's still silently there, with the police department, and just how we treat each other in general. So please, 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 please be mindful of that. If you are a young black male or are raising a young black male or a husband, boyfriend, cousin, make sure that when you are pulled over by the police, that is not your time to determine that they're wrong. We all know that 9 times out of 10 that they're wrong, but that is not your time to go back and forth with them being wrong. The saying, we want you to come back home. So anything that they instruct you to do, any attitude that they give you, keep your attitude down, because just someone videoing it is not enough. So you may see someone on the sideline and they videoing it. So you say, hey, I'm going to tell them, I know my rights. I'm going to tell them what I'm going to do. What I'm saying is really not worth it, right? And we need to, and I would tell people this in my neighborhood all the time growing up, make complaints against the police officers, right? We don't truly make complaints against them until it's a real big matter. Every small thing is very important that we are making complaints and letting them know that our voice will be heard. I remember when my son was a teenager, I want to say he was picking up my niece from school. And I think he was coming from my mom's house in Congress Park at the time. And I think that he was going to our church daycare to pick up my niece. And some police officers pulled him over because he's black, he's a male, he's young. And they pulled him over and they said that he fit the description of someone. But not only and it wasn't so much that they pulled you over to ask a question, is the fact that they put him on the ground, that they did all these things that they didn't need to do. And he wasn't harmed, but he was humiliated, right? So me, with my activist self, I drove back up to 7th District and I told the lieutenant, I asked for the white shirt and said that someone needs to apologize to him. I know that they were doing their job, but someone needs to apologize to him for this. So they went on around, they kept me within 1 or 2 hours, I'm calling the med. I'm not getting up. I'm not letting up. So the lieutenant came back and said, well, those officers got off. And, and I said, well, then you need to apologize for them. I said, it needs to be sincere. And when I say that white lieutenant face lit up like a pink light bulb, he was so angry, did not want to do it, but he went on and he apologized. I said, because I want him to understand that you all do your job. But I also want to understand that you all could apologize. Hey, we got the wrong person. It was just protocol. We're just trying to keep your community safe, as opposed to sitting people on the ground, sometimes beating people, abusing people, and then not saying anything but just walking away. Like that's like a rape. That's like an assault. When someone finished doing everything that they want to do to you, they just walk away. And this takes nothing to just apologize. So those are some things that I definitely want to bring awareness to. Again, if you are a young African American male or even female, because some females were in those videos, please don't engage. Do what they ask. Make sure you get their badge number. Hopefully someone's around recording it. And I think that's part of the reason why some of it has de-escalated a little bit. It still goes on, but it's not as much before, because people are into recording a whole lot. And I know in DC, for one, they have very strict laws on how you handle someone. But a lot of times our community do not report. We get upset, we complain, but it kind of stops there. We don't go any further than that. Do anyone else have any experience with the racism as it relates to, we're not even talking about the politics, but we're talking about the police, racism amongst policing, and how it's designed more to punish us than to help us, right? You don't normally see a cop pulling over, and they have, but you don't normally see a cop pulling over to help you change a tire. You don't normally see a police officer jumping in a neighborhood. It's really hard to get that picture as young children, because all you see is them come on the scene when something's bad has happened, and someone that you love or care for, or maybe just know, is being used or abused by them in some type of way. So if you can watch that movie, it's called The Sound of the Police. It's actually a documentary movie. And just make sure that we're doing things in our daily life, even if you escape it, even when you move away from it and you don't see it as much. But it's very important that we keep those types of things on the front of our mind, because they do exist. And when we sometimes have people, one second, please. And when we sometimes have people that have not experienced it, a lot of African Americans that may from different cultures, and may not have witnessed this hands on, they'll say things like, well, I've never experienced that, and I've never experienced that. But it's really real, and you can be a professional, you can be educated, you can come from wealth. But that doesn't change the fact of the color of the skin. And we as African Americans have to do our part as well. And part of us doing our part is we have to stop showing ourselves so aggressive in the media. Stop recording fights, posting fights. Stop showing us as this angry race that will hurt anyone. That's so dangerous. Where we're even scared of each other sometimes. So we definitely have to stop portraying that image to the media, because that does not help with the way that they treat us, right? So again, please be mindful as we go out into this holiday season. Please know that officers are overworked, underpaid, lack education, lack the exact experience and training that they need. And even if it's down to a speeding ticket, get your ticket, take that ticket to court. Don't try to find yourself guilty or not guilty at side of the road with a ticket. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that we get that out. That movie really touched me today. And now we're going to turn back over to Halloween for the last 10 minutes to see if there's anyone that chimed in that wants to say their favorite Halloween movie. So let's back over to you all. Anyone else has a favorite Halloween movie? I'm encouraged to make me think about that. I'm definitely going to watch The Blackening again Friday. Anyone else have a Halloween movie? Pookie, you like a good movie. What's your favorite Halloween movie? Anybody else for the Halloween movie? And make sure everybody captured my shirt. Look at this cute Pumpkin. Yes. Paranormal Activity and The Conjuring. Both of those movies are too weird and too hard for me to keep up with. Oh my God, Mark likes those movies too. Those movies are too hard for me to keep up with. Have you seen Hocus Pocus? Yes, I'm gonna watch that with the girls on Saturday. Hocus Pocus, very interesting. And I don't like them too scary because I gotta cover my eyes up, right? I gotta cover my eyes up. While people are thinking of what's their favorite movie, does anybody on here have a costume? Is anyone dressing up in a costume this Halloween day or either the weekend coming? Is anyone dressed up in a Halloween costume? Where are we at with that? Is adults wearing Halloween costumes? Let's see. Someone just said Scream is the best ever. And I honestly like Scream. I must say that I do like Scream. I like that their movies always is just not scary, but I like when movies give you a little bit of outside or a little life with it. I like the mixture of the two. So I'll take that. Yes, definitely Scream. Anyone else? Anyone else with any of their favorite Halloween movies? Anyone wearing a costume? I know someone out here in this tea time community is getting all dressed up for Halloween. Me, I'm gonna go pumpkin patch. Going pumpkin patch. I'm going trick or treating. I'm gonna wear this shirt. I got a skirt on today, but I'm gonna wear it with a pair of black jeans and some black boots. And that's gonna be my costume. I'm gonna be a pumpkin. And I don't know what Yanni and Yari is going to be. They kind of pay up, but I do know that Nala is going to be a mermaid. She said she wanted to have a mermaid costume like her mermaid birthday party. A budget Wonder Woman. What is a budget Wonder Woman? So you just got some of the pieces, but not all. Are you doing anything? Any Halloween parties? I always said I wanted to do a grown-up couples Halloween party. I seen my friend Mia and her husband posted this. I think they were ketchup and mustard. It was really, really, really cute. They just posted the other day. But I always said I wanted to do an adult Halloween party. And when it falls on maybe a Saturday or a Friday night, I'm going to do one. I'm going to take the girls to the tree probably early, and I'm going to do an adult Halloween party whenever it falls on a Friday or Saturday. Anyone else? Anybody else got a costume? Pookie, do you have a costume this year? What about you, Donald? Shamika, do you have one? Let's see. Karen, I know sister ain't thinking about no costume. No Halloween costume. No one else. I know Sister Midget. She probably she normally always have a costume. I don't know if she got one out this year, but she always have some of the nicest costumes. I have never the last time I probably used to really wear costumes is back when I was like really slim, and I would be a kitty cat most of the time. And back then you could just buy you some ears and a little bow around your neck, and then I would just put the tail on the back of my little top. But after those days, I never really had a costume. Yeah, a little bit here and there, but never really created with it. It's a Wonder Woman t-shirt with a cape and a headband. Oh, well, that's cute. And you just put some jeans on with it and some red boots and make it do what it would do. Okay, that sounds really cute. Any plans before we get ready to wrap up tea time? Any plans? And I just want to remind you all to make sure that you all heard me when I said that I always thought that the holiday season began on Thanksgiving. But reading it today, I found out that it's actually the day after Thanksgiving, going into the Christmas season. Sis said, not this year. Thanks for compliment. Okay, not this year. I don't have one. Donna, what's the reason, Donna? It's time for you to start getting some costumes, start dressing up and take advantage of that no child life. Because once you have a child, you're so worried about getting them costumes and little candy buckets that you don't get to get it. So please make sure you jump on that and start getting that done. Anyone else? Any Halloween movies, any Halloween activities? And any costumes, Halloween movies, Halloween activities. Where we went at Punk Apple Picking, as we went to Westminster, Maryland. And it was really great. And this little one right my should be on U Street. I don't know what they got to do with the costume now. And I have another text coming in. Okay, yep. And we'll be doing the pumpkin patch this weekend, this Saturday, and our annual Halloween brunch and costume and kids eat free. And we will be doing that as well this Sunday. So that's all I have for you all today. Have a happy Halloween. Most importantly, be safe. Make sure you have a flashlight. Make sure you stay together if you're trick or treating. Make sure that you're staying together if you're treating. Make sure that someone has on something lit up if you don't have a flashlight so that you can see each other when you're walking the streets. Make sure someone is nearby that's driving while you're trick-or-treating so that you all will have a safe space in case it rains or in case you need to run. Always when you're trick-or-treating, if you're an adult, you go to the house first before allowing the children to go up. It should actually be multiple adults. We always have more adults than children, and someone needs to go up to the door before the children go up to that door, because you don't know, someone doesn't want company, if someone has a dog. But as a rule of thumb, do not send small children to the door while you're a distance away. If you really don't feel like walking or can't walk, go to a recreation, but do not let your children go trick-or-treating alone, and do not allow them to go with a teenager who sometimes have so much fun and gets caught up in the activity and would not be in the best interest to monitor the children. No earbuds so you can hear your surroundings. No earbuds. It just bothers me that people jogs outside with them, but no earbuds. And make sure that you're being attentive. So again, happy Halloween to each and every one of you. When we come back next month, it will be the month of November. And I look forward to sipping with you all next week. Thanks.